This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kuku Show, where we speak truth to power. Oh yes. I remember here we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, we would only do that on one condition: to build and not to destroy. This is in the service of God and country. It's all about our people, our continent, our land. This is the old nation of opinions. It's known as an opinion nation. My brother, my sister, from the news reel, we always keep it real. And the very first story I'm taking today, my brother, my sister, we're going to make it very quick and very, very fast. My brother, my sister, I need you to come along. It's going to be really interesting. Yes, I said interesting. And I need you to come along. I'm going to do something about Sam George today. And this one is taken from my Joy Online. It's very interesting. You need to come along. It says, they have blacklisted me over anti-gay bill. I can't even change $1 outside Ghana. Sam George quoted. And this is from my Joy Online. It says, lead campaigner for the passage of the Promotion of Proper Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill in 2021. That is the Ghana Family Values Bill 2021. Samuel Nate George, aka Jata, says his advocacy has come at a huge cost to him, even before the bill is passed into law or otherwise. Now, the Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Pram is sponsoring the private members' bill with 7 other MPs. Speaking on a Kosi saying on a Sempa FM on Wednesday, May 17, 2023, the vociferous legislator who has been re-elected to represent the opposition National Democratic Congress in the 2024 election in his constituency, claimed that he has been unfairly put on a money laundering list because of his advocacy. According to him, the situation has made it difficult for him to engage in financial transactions whenever he travels outside the country. Even though he was given a reason for the blacklisting, the MP considers it as merely a cover-up, insisting that the blacklisting and some other experiences he's gone through in some countries are clearly as a result of his anti-LGBTQI+ campaign. My brother, my sister, now Sam George is a brother I love so much. In fact, I admire him from afar. And I told him this a couple of days ago. I'm sure he even knew it before I told him. We might not agree with everything, but he's somebody that I hugely admire. Now listen, Honorable Sam George, to talk about the LGBTQI+, you must have the guts. And I see you as a man of guts. From my experience, and from the experience of some other people, my brother, my sister, if you are not ready, do not touch the tiger's tail. From my experience and the experience of some other people, if you are not ready, please do not stoke the fire. And I know that you are ready. This is nothing. That they are stopping you from changing money and even engaging in financial transactions. That is nothing, my brother. Buju Banton went to jail, and a lot of it had to do with the LGBTQI+. Now, if you remember, Shabba Ranks, Reynolds Gordon was on top of the reggae and dancehall fraternity. He won a couple of Grammys. At the end of the day, one rant against the LGBTQ. At that time, there wasn't even any Q. It was just the LGBT. Not even T. Lesbians and homosexuals. That's it. Shabba Ranks talked against lesbianism and homosexuality. And in an interview, he mentioned that any homosexual and lesbian must be put to death. Shabba Ranks, on that day, lost all that he had worked for. Can I go into detail? Hear me again. With all respect, Mr. Sam George, my very good brethren, Shabba Ranks had won a number of Grammys. He was the first dancehall artist to ever win a Grammy, not even King Yellowman. He picked up the Grammy. He became one of the very first crossover reggae dancehall artists from Jamaica. But on the day that he made that utterance, his whole fame and everything he worked for came crumbling down like a house of cards. In fact, right on the show, he was told by the host in the face that you are talking crap. C-A-R-P. Today they will say bullshit. Shabba Ranks was an ambassador for so many different products. All the endorsement deals, he lost them in just a split second. In fact, in a twinkle of an eye, he lost that. Buju Banton made a song, Boom Bye Bye. Boom Bye Bye in a batty boy aid. Rude boy no promote no nasty man, them I feel dead. To those who don't understand this simple pattern, it says, rude boy does not tolerate anything from the homosexual family. And rude boy would have to shoot and kill every homosexual. That's what the lyrics of the song say. He ended up in jail for 10 solid years. He appealed until he lost everything. Buju Banton did everything he could. He remained in jail until a deal was brokered. And when he came out, from that time, Buju Banton has never been Buju Banton again. So the LGBTQI plus, square root, minus, all those things, my brother, my sister, you should not touch that if you are not ready. Sam George, yours is only financial transaction. Should I tell you what to expect next? They are going to stop you unnecessarily from visiting their countries. America, England. In fact, South Africa may even come in. They will frustrate you even the more. If you were a musician, they would start talking to each other to stop buying your music and not to even book you. And as if that is not enough, or better still, as if that will not be enough, they will chase you to any promotion that decides to book you and stop it. We have seen it happen to people like Bushman, I beg your pardon, people like Elephant Man, people like Capleton, and even T.O.K. Recently, T.O.K. had to pull out a song against homosexuals. It's called Chichi Man. So Sam George, the other day I met you here a couple of days ago. I was almost going to talk to you about this. But this is what it is. You have seen nothing yet. This fight against LGBTQI+ and standing for your culture and customs, please, it needs the real you, Jata, the lion, to do this. This is nothing. I don't want to believe that you're complaining, but if you are complaining, then brace yourself for a stormier weather. With all love and respect, listen, they would even make sure that they demonstrate against you every corner you find yourself in. In fact, they would even pay for people to vote against you in the elections. Please, you are going into an election soon. Be ready. Your opponent is going to be financed very heavily. He will throw money around like pepper during the Homo War. Hey, Sam George, you don't know what is coming. It's going to be bigger and fatter than this. Now, let me take you to Uganda. Listen, in Uganda, Right now, the best way of making money, the easiest way, is to say that you support homosexuals. And they send you money. You organize an NGO, they will dole out money into your account, all because you support homosexuality. Millions of American dollars are being spread in Uganda. All you need to say is that, hey, you are for homosexuals, and that is enough. This is how far they can go to frustrate you. So if it is about changing dollars in Togo or changing dollars in Benin, and you are getting incensed about that, my brother, you haven't seen anything yet. I know who you are, and I know what your passions are. I have gone on this journey before. I have never regretted it. I believe that you will grow the balls and be able to move further and stronger. I wish you all the best, my brother, and you can count on me for support and advice anytime. In the interim, this is the Blakk Pot. Now, this other thing I'm looking at is coming from Ghana Web, and it says, what nonsense. You have turned yourself into a superhuman journalist. And this is Nkrabia Ifadate. I'm glad that they are not adding the captain retired anymore, because he is not qualified to actually go by that title. And the military has come against him several times. And he always claimed that he didn't ask anybody to call him captain retired. But it's the media that forced it on him. Why is he not supposed to be called that, even though he was once a captain in the army? He was not properly discharged. If you are sacked from the military, you dare never use any title of the military, even in retirement. Never. That is what Ifadate is going through. So you have a background of who this gentleman is. He's a lawyer by profession. He was once a captain in the Ghana army, even though he was sacked. Now let us go through it and see what going on. Now he says, in response to a recent ruling by the High Court, lawyer Nkrabia Ifadate has expressed his satisfaction with the decision that investigative journalist Anas Admiyaw Anas must remove his veil during a criminal case with former GFA President Kwesi Nyantakyi. According to Nkrabia Ifadate, there is no precedent anywhere in the world where a witness testifies in court whilst wearing a mask. He criticized Anas for what he perceived as an attempt to elevate himself to superhuman status, and likened his methods to that of a deity tempting others. So the problem we have with our country is that we are always waiting for a precedence. We are waiting for other people to do it before we do it. That's a shame. That means we will never be first. We are always lurking in the shadows of others cast on us. The light is always shining on them, and their shadows are always falling on us. Oh, what a shame. You see, the work Anas Admiyaw Anas is doing is very, very dangerous. Anas Admiyaw Anas is living in a country that is overly vindictive. Anas Admiyaw Anas is living in a country that is overly tribalistic. Partisan politics is baffling us from the head all the way down to the toe. Overly religious. In fact, overly stupendous. My brother, my sister, you look at some of these things and you know that such a man, if he walks with his face uncovered, he's certainly putting himself in harm's way. Why does Nyantakyi want to see the face of Anas Admiyaw Anas? So that what? So that when he's writing his dirge, he will write that the man who killed him, his nose looked like a grinding stone and his eyes looked like those of a baby eagle's. What does he need the face for? Can we identify him by the voice? My brother, my sister, Is it a way of putting the guy in harm's way? And this is my opinion. The work he's doing is very, very dangerous. And we all know that. Is it dangerous? Is it not dangerous? Until we are able to come out and prove that Anas Armiyaw Anas is nothing but a villain, nothing but a cheap journalist who goes around blackmailing people and taking ransom, my brother, my sister, for his captives. His face must remain covered. My brother, my sister, in many countries we do secret filming. In many countries, my brother, my sister, we have the identity of journalists protected. Anas Armiyaw Anas, before his very eyes, saw the murder and assassination of his colleague. You want him to go the same way? We all remember Ahmed Swale, who was gunned down in broad daylight. He was shot right in the neck and also in the chest. He left behind a plethora of little children and 2 women and bills to be paid. Do you want Anas to go the same way? Until a court is able to tell that Anas is a very cheap journalist, a criminal journalist, that murderous journalist, as has been said by Canada, Japan, please let his face be covered. I leave it here. I leave it here. I hand over the baton to Eric Mawena Egbe.